Welcome, everybody. This is Mikelat from Building Aspirations, and you are participating in a live webinar. We are going to teach you how to job search with social media. And social media is on fire. Oh my gosh, if you don't know about Facebook, you've been living in a cave. And not only is it changing, not only is it shaping the way that we are communicating, but it is changing very drastically and very significantly the best case strategies to find a job, to do your career development, to do your research. So let's tap into this phenomenon called social media to help you really ramp up your job search and to become more effective in finding that job with social media. If you are participating in the live webinar, we have a chat box on the left or on the bottom of the screen, depending on how you are viewing this. And we are recording this so that we will be sharing this so that other people can use this tool to help them with their job searching. If you have any questions during the webinar, just add them in the chat box. We have you on what is called listen only mode because if I open it up to everybody, then we get static and echoes, and some people have dogs barking in the background and stuff, and it's just a little awkward. So if you have a question, add it to the chat box. And I started utilizing the assistance of my assistant to help monitor the questions and make sure that I am keeping myself honest and answering all the questions as best I can. And she's also there to address any technical issues. So if you do have a technical challenge, although we get them very infrequently, send what's called a private message in your chat box, and she will help analyze that. Amy's a rock star with that type of stuff. So if you're unfamiliar with who Mark is, who is this dude? Who's talking? Well, this is Mark Mikelat. You can laugh a lot, you can learn a lot with Mikelat. And I have a company called Building Aspirations. It helps small businesses with their online marketing needs. We are of the opinion that when you implement your aspiration into your personal and professional life, you will just live a happier, more successful life. If you are doing what you want to do, if you are living your passion, if you are taking your value system from life and infusing it into everything you do personally and professionally, you are just living the perfect life. And we help people do that with their small businesses and, in this case, with their career. There's my contact information. My email is mark@buildingaspirations.com. I have somewhat of a Twitter addiction. You can feed my Twitter addiction by commenting or connecting with me on Twitter. So let's get started. How to get a job using social media. I wrote this book called 50 Tips for Effective Networking. Let me tell you a little bit about this book and how it came to be. I have taught business classes. I'm on sabbatical at the moment, but I've taught business classes for about 6 years at a local college in Long Beach, California. And the students would come up to me and say, Mark, how do you get a job? Networking. Oh. How do you get a promotion? Networking. Oh. Well, how do you figure out what career you want if you really don't know what career you want? Networking. Oh. So they kind of sort of knew what I was talking about with networking. They knew the general idea, but they didn't know how to do it. So I wrote them a book called 50 Tips for Effective Networking, and it gives them the proper strategies to go out and network. And this is a short and sweet book. It is 50 tips, but all these tips are basically one page. You can read this book in about an hour. It's available on Amazon.com for, I think, $10 if you're interested. And it's a quick and easy read. And I have learned that actually, and I'm very happy to know that some students keep this with them. And they put it in their glove box, or they have it in their purse, or they have it on their phone. And just before they go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a networking meeting or something, any type of professional mixer, they glance through this book. And they really see it as a valuable resource, and they tap into it to be more successful in their networking. And I love it. And that's exactly what the intent was for this book. Because that's really the key for your job search. It's networking. It's making a real connection as a real person with another real person. And just because we're on social media now, just because we're changing the manner, changing the communications channel just a little bit, that doesn't mean that we are going to abandon effective networking strategies. We're going to change them up a little bit because we're just using a different form of communication, but the overall strategy and how we behave and how we connect with people is the same. And this is critically important for you to appreciate. This is really, really, really how you get a job. You've heard that adage of, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Oh my gosh, it is so true. And I'll give you a powerful statistic in just a moment that proves it. Not my statistic, a researched statistic, a documented statistic. That I don't want you to be a candidate. I don't want you to be a resume. I don't want you to just go into the massive pile. I want you to be a real person. I want you to demonstrate that you are awesome, that you have great skills, that you have great experience. And the way that you do that is that you stand out above the crowd, that you are more than a piece of paper. And it's so frustrating to me that there are so many websites out there right now where you can submit your resume electronically. And some companies are even requiring that you submit this resume electronically. A colleague of mine was just complaining the other day that she had to put like her past year's addresses and her social security number and her birth date and all this stuff just to apply. Well, yeah, that gives the advantage to the company. Now they can take these 200, 300 candidates and they can search for one keyword if they want to. So this makes you just a keyword, really. I mean, you're just bits and bytes in a database. And I know that you are more than that. And the way that you demonstrate and document you are more than that is you are a real person. And you may think it's awesome to go click and submit a resume online, but you know what? 1,000 other people just thought the same thing. And oh, this is quick and easy. Yeah, it's quick and easy for all your competition too. Okay, you need to beat out your competition. Unless you have super unbelievable skills and experience that nobody else in the marketplace has, you can't stand out if you are just bits and bytes in a database. You can only stand out by making a personal, human-oriented connection. And we're going to achieve that with effective networking. We're going to use the tools of social media to achieve that. So networking, remember, it's all about networking. So what we're going to talk about today, where to be on social media. There's a whole universe of social media, and some places are a little bit more effective than others. We'll point those out and explain the advantages and disadvantages and best case practices of being there. Now, we have limited time, of course. I can't give you all of the information out there, but I will be speaking to them at a high level. Now, you need to take this and you need to implement it. This is your exercise plan. And if you don't actually exercise, it doesn't matter. If you talk about exercising, if you read about exercising, if you plan to exercise, but you never exercise, you never get the benefits of exercise. Right? So I'm going to give you the plan, but you actually have to implement it. You must be impressive. I'm going to point out what that means. I'm going to give you a good story and a bad story. And people really appreciate this because the personal stories are valuable. You can emulate these. Don't copy them, right? You need to be your own you, but I want to give you an example of what works and what doesn't work. Also, I want you to manage it all. It can be overwhelming, absolutely. And job searching is a job. If you do this whimsically or with poor intent, or you're not serious about it, or you don't have a comprehensive plan, or you don't follow up, you will fail. Now, I know it's a lot of work, but the way you deal with this is that you have a system and you manage it. And I'll actually give you some tools to help you manage a lot of different messages in a lot of different places to help save you time and energy. And I'm going to, throughout the way, point out quick and easy ways to mess this all up, because you can certainly mess it up pretty quickly and pretty easily. We have a message, will you be talking about Facebook? And is Facebook a good strategy? Yeah, it definitely could be a good strategy. LinkedIn, in my opinion, is preferential, but we'll point to how to use Facebook. Absolutely. Why we're here. Finding a job is incredibly hard. It is extraordinarily difficult, and there are a lot of metrics out there. And I can speak to a lot of different ways, but to think that you can just immediately transition into another job after a layoff, after downsizing, after being fired, whatever, no, it doesn't work. Just think about it. Okay, even if you were the perfect candidate, one, how do they know that you're the perfect candidate? Two, how do they contact you? How do they organize it? How do they convince the decision makers? Right? Even if everything is perfect, just to do the paperwork could take weeks. And as well as I, nothing is perfect, right? People are distracted, people are on vacation, they didn't get your message, they misunderstood. 9 gajillion things get in the way. And that's even if there's a good situation. Now, if you have to convince people or there's lots of competition, right, you get it. Yeah, it's difficult. And so many people are frustrated. Oh, it's so hard to find a job. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, it should be, okay? If they're going to bring you into their company and they're going to pay you to do a job, right, there's a process. They need to make sure that you are a good match. Finding a spouse in life is a difficult job because you know what? You have to match. You have to connect on a lot of different levels. And you just don't snap your fingers and find the perfect husband or the perfect wife. There is a process of connection and evaluation and matchmaking. Well, hello, the job search process is the same thing. It really is matchmaking. Do we connect, right? And so it's hard, but I am here to make it easier. Now, easier. I can't make it easy. It's a hard process, but I can make it easier, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this is the one metric that I want to share with you. There's a lot of metrics I can share with you. And question, are we going to be talking about resumes? No, we're not going to be talking about resumes in the specific sense. I'm not going to tell you what to put on the resume and everything because there's lots of research out there, and it's also very, very specific to the type of job and experience and what. Resumes are very, very important, and I encourage you to invest some time and energy into that. But networking, in my opinion, is infinitely more valuable because I actually got a job years ago with 3 typos on a resume. And I'm not saying it is okay to have typos on the resume, but I'm saying that your personal connection is infinitely more valuable than this resume, than this piece of paper. Now, so don't ignore the power of your resume, but realize that your personal connection, your networking strategy is infinitely more valuable. And the reason it is because of this metric right here, 80%. 80%. What is that? That is what is called the hidden job market. 80% of people who are hired in the hidden job market. And this is not my statistic. This is from CNN. I researched to find the most credible source for this. If you can look at a lot of books, and they'll say 90%, 95%, but the most, in my opinion, credible source I could find for this was CNN. I had to go back a few years, 80%. Now, and okay, 80%, 90%, 99%, right? I don't want to be mathematically precise here, but the point is the overwhelming number of jobs out there are not advertised. So what the majority of you are doing is you're going to websites and you are looking for the jobs that are posted, right? That's 20% of the jobs. You are just skipping over 80% of the jobs. 80% of the jobs are invisible, and they're invisible because they're kind of given through the personal network, right? A job is created, or someone is moved into a job that hasn't been officially posted yet, or there's lots of variations and flavors of this, the hidden job market. So the point is, you want to be in that team. You want to be top of mind with these decision makers in your specific industry for your dream job, because it's the invisible job market or the hidden job market that is 4 to 5 times more valuable than the listed job market. And finding a job is about a conversation. It's about talking to people, not going click, click, click on a website, not filling out a form, not your resume. It's a person-to-person connection. And that in life is going to help you every time. The person who fills out the form precisely is okay, one thing, but the person who has a personal connection to the manager, to the owner, to the salesperson, whatever, is always going to get preferential treatment because there's a personal connection, and it has to do with trust and rapport and relationship building, and it's not a bad thing. This is life. And I'm not saying this is nepotism or anything like that, right? Of course, you need to have the proper skills and proper capabilities to do the job. Yet, these people who are hiring people, what they want is a qualified candidate. They want somebody who is capable, who has the capabilities to perform this job. And in the job search process, there is asymmetric information on both sides. The job searchers and the job posters cannot present perfect information, and it's so difficult to make a perfect decision with imperfect information. You can't. So what people rely on is the personal connection, the trust. I trust these people, or I have a personal connection with these people, so my risk is mitigated because of this personal connection that I have. And those connections are reinforced and emphasized, and people are reminded of them by talking with people. That is your networking. Now, on social media, where you need to be. There are 4 primary places where, in my opinion, you need to be. These all have advantages and disadvantages. Now, I call them the 3 big boys, are Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Let me explain in a broad sense what these are, and then I'll go a little deeper. Facebook is a conversation at a barbecue. LinkedIn is a conversation in a boardroom. And Twitter is a conversation in a hallway. Let me explain. Facebook is a conversation at a barbecue. Okay, what do you talk about at a barbecue? Anything. You can talk about real world events, you can talk about politics, you can tell jokes, someone can interrupt you, someone can change the subject, someone can agree, someone can disagree, right? So all manner of communication. It is very, very open communication. You can only control it to a small degree, right? It can go off kilter. That's Facebook. It is a conversation at a barbecue. That's what it is. LinkedIn, a conversation in a boardroom. It's more professional. It's more strategic. It's more business oriented, probably more strategic, visionary at a higher level than a barbecue chat. Twitter is a conversation in a hallway. Now, Twitter is a conversation in a hallway because it is super quick. You actually have a technical limitation of 140 characters. You can basically send out a sentence. And that means that, you can't be like overwhelmingly complex in what you're trying to explain. Hey, let me explain these 11 things about my experience. Okay, you can't do that on Twitter. Physically, you can't do it because you don't have room. So it's a conversation in a hallway. Hey, I'm looking for marketing, or I'm looking for a marketing association in Southern California. Oh yeah, I know of one. Okay, thanks. That right there is a prospecting or a networking conversation. It's just bam, 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 back and forth really, really quick. Okay, that's a conversation in a hallway. Now realize that also people can overhear this, okay? Just like a conversation in a hallway. It is not meant to be a private conversation. And in all of this, now, in your communication in general, especially your social media communication, you always need to be very positive. You need to be polite, you need to be considerate, you need to be professional. Because once a message is out there, it has a life and it can live on. And if it is taken out of context, it may have a totally different meaning. Now, when you are selling yourself in a job search process, and that's exactly what you're doing, you need to sell yourself in the best light. So when someone reads this post or when someone sees this Twitter message, are they, if they don't understand the backstory, will they get value from this? Is this seen as a positive thing? So realize, especially in Twitter where the communications are super quick, right? People are going to see this, and don't create a situation where they can easily misunderstand the situation. Now, YouTube, I also put YouTube out there because this is kind of a more unique and more advanced one. YouTube is a video sharing tool, but it is a powerful way that you can share a connection with people. You can create some rapport with people. This right here is the most intimate form of social media communication, because if someone is watching a video of you, they are having as close to they can as a communication with you. Other than actually being with you, physically sitting in front of you and communicating with you, this is as close as they can get. And this is incredibly powerful if you deal with any type of visual industry, like maybe you're a graphic artist or you're an artist or a construction worker. Now you can show pictures of the phenomenal work that you've done. And with a very inexpensive tool that I'll introduce you to in just a moment, you can create very powerful videos and create an online portfolio. Now realize that this is a more advanced tool and it's going to be specific to specific industries, but this is a powerful way to share your portfolio of work if you have any type of visual product to share. Now, you need to, as I alluded to, be impressive. In all of your communication on social media, you must be professional, serious, and focused. Now, professional. Can you joke around? Yeah, okay, you can joke around, and you are a human being, and you can express your life in social media because it's social. But realize even something that is potentially innocuous, if seen in the wrong light, could be extremely problematic. Okay, and it could be something a little like as simple as maybe toasting at a birthday party. Okay, everybody lifts a glass of champagne and has a toast. Okay. Now, nothing like evil about toasting at a birthday party, but it's not professional. And think of it like this. Okay, I am an HR person, and I am going to evaluate these 100 people, and I am going to go on social media to just check super quickly who they are. And then, oh, okay, Mark is drinking all the time. Okay, forget it. Okay, Mark is not drinking all the time. The last 3 pictures he put out were at an anniversary party or whatever, right? So this HR person has a 10-second insight into my life. But you know what? Those 10 seconds were not representative of my life in whole. But the HR manager doesn't know that. He or she has just this much amount of time, and they got to move on. Now, if they had an hour to truly understand like who I am, okay, they're going to get a totally different picture, but they don't, right? That's if you are just this piece of paper. If you truly tap into the power of effective communication, you can talk about this, right? And then you're more than just this 10-second snapshot. So always, every message, always be professional. Always be serious and always be focused. Now, when you are online in social media, you always have, if you see it as a marketing tool, you have an intent. What do you want to have happen from your social media marketing? And when you are job searching, you are marketing. You are marketing yourself. What is your intent? Oh, I want this person to call me. I want appointments for this type of job, or I want research about this type of job, or I want contacts in this company, or I want leads in this company, right? What is your intent? So that's you being focused. So if you are saying something, you need to be focused. So my point is the following, that if you say, like, does anybody know of any jobs? That's ridiculous, okay? Because that's not being focused. Nobody even knows how to answer that question because it's impossibly vague, So does anybody know of entry-level management jobs in the retail industry in Los Angeles. Okay? Oh yeah, my friend's an assistant buyer at Macy's or something, right? Okay, now they know. Because everybody's life is so complicated that they can't figure this out if it's vague. You need to give them very, very specifics. And a lot of people are automatically going to say, oh, but what if I'm too specific? No, okay? Because if you say any job, that doesn't work in my brain, okay? But if you say retail industry in Los Angeles, then, somebody might say, well, my cousin is in San Diego. That's not exactly Los Angeles, but you'll still get the lead, right? Because they can connect at least partially the retail or what type of position you're looking for. So they'll get close to your bullseye, but not totally the bullseye. So you need to think of job searching like this, as a target, and you are shooting towards the bullseye. Very, very specific, focused in your social media marketing messages, that the things that you post, focused for the bullseye. If you don't hit the bullseye, you still might hit the target. But if you're not aiming at anything, a job, right, people don't even know where the target is. So how could they possibly hit the bullseye? So be focused in all of your messaging. We have a question. Okay, what if you don't know? Okay, so what if you don't know the type of job that you're looking for? Well, then you are using social media as more of a career development tool, a career research tool. Okay, so you're still going to be focused. You're going to say, I am doing career research, or I am doing informational interviews about the type of job, or I am checking out different career fields in this. Okay, that's still being focused, right? At this point, we're not focused enough to know exactly what the job is, but we're still being focused on what we're trying to accomplish. Okay, now here, let me provide you a really good example here, and I'm actually going to read all of this to you because we're gonna dissect it. Now, let me put this into context. This is a Facebook post. Okay, now Facebook is a social media. It's primarily used to be social. There's a Facebook page option and a Facebook personal page option. This is from Rick's personal page. Rick is a friend of mine. Hi, friends. I know that you all know that I have been searching for a job for what seems like forever. I received notification today that I'll be working for the County of Orange on a temporary job that will last about 1.5 to 2 months. This job will be starting in about 2 weeks. The good news is that I will bridge the gap until I am trained in income tax preparation. I will be starting an income tax preparation job in the new year. Today was most definitely a good day. Thank all of you for your words of encouragement. It helped me to never give up. Okay. Now, remember, be focused, be professional, okay? First of all, in the very, very first line, he says, job searching for what seems like forever, okay? This is great. Okay, what is Rick doing? He is job searching. He's giving status about where he got this temporary job, County of Orange. He's giving you the timeline. He talks about income tax preparation. So specifics. And you didn't see the messages previous to this one, where Rick was very, very straightforward. I'm looking for job opportunities in Orange County in tax preparation. Does anybody know of any? Right? And look how many people participated in this communication. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, so plus 25 others. So 29 people read this message and acknowledged it, and a few people actually made comments as well, and realize that this is a lot of engagement. And this happened, if you can see the timestamp there, 59 minutes ago. So in less than 1 hour, roughly 30 people engaged with Rick on this post. Now, when you get these are going to be friends, people who know and love you, so they're going to have already some emotional attachment to you. They're already going to be familiar with you, respect you because they're reading your posts. And now, oh my gosh, Rick is job searching. So if Rick goes on every day and talks about job searching, just gives a quick reminder, he is telling this network of people, hello, networking, what type of job he is looking for. And look how quickly they respond. And you know what? Even when it doesn't work, it works. Because he says it himself, it helped me to never give up. So even if these people cannot immediately, oh, here are the 7 jobs you should apply to, right? Just the camaraderie, just the emotional support can be incredibly valuable through a difficult job search. So be very, very specific. Tell people where you're looking for a job. Tell people what type of job. If there are specific keywords or different names for the job, put it out there. And even if your friends don't know, you know what? Your friends have friends, and then they have cousins, and then they know people, and everybody knows everybody, right? 6 degrees of separation. Seriously. I did an experiment a couple years ago. I wrote a letter to the Queen of England just to see if she would write back. She wrote back. But, hello, I've written CEOs before, and they write back. They're really astute people. It's just like, just reach out to people, man. And these aren't strangers. These are people you know. So I'm starting with Facebook because a lot of people are very comfortable with Facebook. So definitely a great place to start. Now, there's a potential danger. Okay, now this is for Facebook and all social media as well. No negative messages, right? So Rick says, job searching is hard, right? Okay, and he's venting just a tiny bit of frustration. He's being human, but he's not saying, oh, these human resource managers are horrible, right? Because I can't believe they were so rude to me at ABC Company. Well, you know what? ABC Company's husband might see that post or something, right? It's just like, and in the moment you're just venting your frustration, but oh man, that negative message, once it gets out, right, you can start like some really negative things happening. So don't do that. No negative messages. Now, fun is okay, but unprofessional is not. Okay? If you want to express a little bit of your personality, that's perfectly fine, but you have to gauge yourself in that, okay, when is enough enough? Now, never compromise your principles. Okay, your personality is your personality, and I'm never going to say, like, don't be you. Okay, but realize that there's a time to just be silly, and there's a time to be professional. And you definitely want to err on the side of being more professional when you aren't in job search mode, because simply things can be misunderstood very easily, and especially out of context, because as you know, roughly 80% of communication is nonverbal communication. And when you are in social media, wow, you're basically seeing black text on a white screen, right? In an asynchronous time frame. So you're not getting the facial cues, you may not get the background. So it is entirely possible to misinterpret that stuff. So don't try to be creative or refer to things or overly complex in social media. Have these messages just simply stand alone so that they will not be misunderstood. Let me give you a great example of, I'm sorry, but a failure in social media. This is an example. This is being recorded a little bit after the World Cup in 2014, and the World Cup was just in Brazil, and Germany just won, I think 2 days ago. Yay, Germany! And this right here is a picture of a young lady who was cheering on Belgium at the soccer match in Brazil. And you see the title right there, Belgian fan lands and loses modeling gig after World Cup image takes off. Okay, and so this was passed along by a UK staff writer. So this is a professional journalist writing an article, and you can see the name right there, Sean Swabby from the UK staff writer. And in this circumstance, this article was actually shared roughly 25,000 times. So by the time it actually got here, it had actually gone all over the place. That this cute girl, her picture was taken, and then a modeling agency found her, and they connected with her, and they actually gave her a contract. And this all happened very, very quickly. And that what they did is they actually did this campaign. This is L'Oreal, and they actually did some promotional videos, and they actually showed her in this one video of giving her a makeup and hair and getting her ready for a modeling shoot. They were going to hire her as a model. So everything is great. And then all of a sudden, someone found a post online that she had put online a year ago. And what this is a post from almost the previous posting I showed you was from July 9th, 2014. Here's a Facebook post from July 1st, 2013. So roughly 1 year prior. And it is a picture of her hunting, I don't know the name, I'm going to say that's a gazelle. I don't actually know what type of animal it is. And she's actually hunting in Africa with her family, and they shot this animal, and she is taking a picture of this animal who you can kind of tell a little bit they're still bleeding. Now you can have your own opinion, own comment about hunting, and I don't want to comment about that, but I want you to read the actual text right here. Her original post said the following: hunting is not a matter of life or death. It's much more important than that. This was about 1 year ago. And then she says, ready to hunt Americans today. Ha ha. Ready to hunt Americans today. So what she did is she took this post from Facebook a year prior, and then she reposted it because the Belgium team was playing the Americans. And she's saying, hunting Americans today, ha ha, right? And wow, okay, so this is funny, but you see, she's trying to be funny, but like, really, like, hunting Americans? And she meant it in a sports metaphor, but oh man, there's so much negative connotation here. And I certainly don't believe that she meant to be mean or rude or inconsiderate, but in best case scenario, this was in poor taste. And remember, I said, like, always professional, right? Okay, this was perhaps unprofessional. And you know what? What happened is that she got noticed, she got hired, and then she got fired. Wow. And this is from a international modeling contract. So huge success to huge failure, I don't know, extraordinarily quickly because of the power of social media. Now, you want to say this is fair or this is unfair or it's her fault. I mean, you can have whatever opinion you want. That's fine. But what I want you to take away is that this is a powerful example of how this can work for you or work against you. Now, what if this picture was her at a charity event? Hey, this was me at this, fundraiser for a scholarship or something, right? Share a totally powerful and positive picture. Oh my gosh, it could have had like the opposite effect. Maybe she's getting more modeling contracts or something. I don't know. So, but you get the point here, okay? So always professional. You get it. Okay. Now, that's a little bit about Facebook. Let me talk a little bit more about LinkedIn. Okay, remember, LinkedIn is a conversation in a boardroom. Okay, totally more. Now, you're going to be professional on Facebook. You're going to be even more professional on LinkedIn. Recruiters live on Facebook. There are a lot of external recruiters, even internal recruiters, who will do a lot of prospecting on LinkedIn. They will look for your personal profile for keywords. Have a powerful profile online. Now, it's basically your online resume. And people will look for keywords, and they will look for software. And so whatever is important in your industry, that needs to be in your profile. Okay? If you have lots of experience with illustrations, what the market is looking for, infographics experience, okay, the recruiter is going to look for the keyword infographics. And if they don't find it, they're going to pass you by. Oh, but I've done tons of infographics. But you're not saying that on your profile. So that's what I mean by powerful online profile. Okay, have the keywords, have what they're looking for. Okay, obviously if you don't have the experience, you don't have the experience. But whatever keywords they're looking for, whatever phrases that are important for them, you need to put those in your personal profile. A personal profile is a resume online. And if you're not familiar with it, you can't really break anything. And also, let me emphasize that LinkedIn is free. There is a premium package that might be appropriate for you, but most people just use the free package. So just go on there and load up your personal profile. And realize that you are focusing everything towards this job search. Remember, you're having intent. So if there's something about your personal experience that is not aligned with where you want to go in your career right now, to just leave that out, or maybe not leave it out, but de-emphasize it, right? Because if the recruiters are all looking at the experience you had 5 years ago, and that's not the type of job that you want right now, right? You're sabotaging your career development efforts. Now, connect in what are called groups. LinkedIn has groups, and these are subsets of LinkedIn. And you can have vertical groups on specific industries, sometimes even geographic areas. And the people who are the points of influence, the influencers in the specific industry or field, will participate in those groups. So let's just say you are looking for a job in as a graphic artist in San Diego. All right, so you do the best you can to find that type of group. Maybe there's a San Diego group, maybe there's a graphic artist group, and in best case scenario, there's a San Diego graphic artist group. So you find that group, and groups are typically, they're free, and just search in the little search box at the top for a group. And sometimes they have unique names, so just keep searching keywords and stuff until you find it. And also there's a little bit of artificial intelligence that LinkedIn will analyze what you're doing and who you are, and they will actually recommend groups as well. So pay attention to what they're actually recommending, because they have a lot of personalization data in the background that helps fine-tune it for their members. So oftentimes they recommend really good groups for you. Join those groups and participate in discussions. What that means is ask questions and also answer questions. And then when people see who you are, they'll see that that they'll see something in your profile. And I encourage you to put in your profile like job search candidate, or seeking opportunities in, or expert in. Okay, so you want to make it obvious to people when you're engaged in this conversation about graphic artists in San Diego that you are an expert graphic artist seeking job opportunities. And they'll see your name, and they'll see that little description that you could consider that your tagline, right? You're marketing yourself. So if they like what they see or they like what they read, they'll send a message to you and they'll ask to connect with you, or they may even just contact you directly. So have your contact information available. Now, if you don't want to have your phone number out there, if you're concerned with privacy, you can actually create what's called a Google phone number, or you can just put just create a temporary email address, as long as it's branded with your name. As long as it's reasonably easy for these people to contact you. You don't want to make it difficult for a recruiter to contact you, of course. So connect in those groups, answer those questions, and then connect with people. They'll send you what are called invites, and invite is just a closer connection on LinkedIn. And I encourage you to accept the invites of people who are appropriate, and you can also connect with other people. Send them invites. And I mean, don't freak out if someone doesn't accept your invite, because they may be busy, may not be paying attention. So don't worry about it. It's not don't figure it an attack on your personality or anything. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I see invites to awesome people that have just been out there for a long time, and I just hadn't noticed it. But remember, from an intent standpoint, connect with the people who can help you in your career path. I mean, there might be someone awesome to connect with. Oh man, I like this guy. But in this point, it's job search, right? Who can help you with your career development? Who can help you with your job search? Connect with those people. Now, there's also Twitter. Now, Twitter is, remember, it's a conversation in a hallway. Now, I encourage you to create a professional Twitter presence. Now, this right here is all about job searching. Now, this could be an existing Twitter account that you already have, or a brand new one that you create. If you have an existing one that is all about you chatting with your friends and talking about sports and arguing about politics, I encourage you to create a whole new branded one just for career development. It is free to create one. It is quick and easy. You could probably create a new account in, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And you want to create a very, very specific profile. And the profile are the words that are associated with your career goals. If someone has just 5 seconds to learn about who you are, they're going to click on your profile picture and then read your profile. And you're going to say, oh, I'm an expert in branding for women's fashion, and I'm seeking opportunities in San Francisco. right? Oh, okay. So they know right away, bam, Mark has expertise in this, and he's looking for a job here. Now, same thing as LinkedIn, you want to participate in conversations. So anytime you see posts about the fashion industry in San Francisco, you're going to make a comment, or you're going to share tools or resources, and you're going to connect with other people in the fashion industry, and you're just going to converse. So the same, like, remember, networking, conversation, right? Although we're not physically in front of the people, we're not eyeball to eyeball, handshake to handshake, this is still a conversation. So you're still networking with people. So find the decision makers, and these could be editors of fashion magazines, CEOs of companies, marketing directors of companies, and you're just going to engage in that conversation, and you're going to connect with them. Now, remember, connect with them, okay? A key thing with all of this stuff is that you need to ask for a job without asking for a job. And this is tough, right? But if you're too direct or aggressive, what happens is that people are automatically defensive, just automatically, right? Whereas if you ask for help, if you ask for research, if you ask for connections, if you ask for information, that's a totally different situation. So instead of asking about, like, who is hiring, what companies are growing, or what areas of fashion are hot, or what new companies have just started, or stuff like that, right? So you know where to direct your time and your energy, and just continue that conversation. Remember, it's a conversation. And I want people to hire you because they build personal rapport with you. They know and trust you, and they learn that you have awesomeness. And that happens over time. I'm sorry, you know from your life that friendship development takes time, right? Sometimes you can have instant rapport with people, but more often than not, it takes a little bit of time. So social media is very much a marathon and not a sprint. So you're going to do this over and over again. Now, what you want to do in Twitter is do stuff like this. You want to brag about yourself without bragging about yourself. So here's an example. This is a post from me. Thanks to the crew at OC Score, my sell more of what you already sell training was packed, ran out of chairs. So there I'm kind of being funny, right? But I'm saying that, oh, Mark had an extremely popular workshop, right? So instead of saying, I'm an awesome presenter, right, I'm bragging about myself without bragging about myself. And I actually made a grammatical error in there, right? So don't do as I did, right? You want to put messages out there without the grammatical errors. Now, and what happens is that people will retweet your information. This is a good colleague of mine, friend of mine, Dr. Letitia Wright, and she will retweet messages. That's what the RT is. So you want people to retweet your messages. And what retweet means is basically a reply all on email. They're sending the information all over the place. We had a question, is Twitter good for a specific industry? Well, all of these have advantages and disadvantages for different industries, and whatever seems to work better for you, just focus your time and energy there. But remember, these are all free tools. So I encourage you to experiment with them all, and I'm actually going to give you some more resources to save you time and energy. But if something is not working for you, then just move on. But don't quit immediately. Give it a reasonable amount of time for it to work. The thing here is that when you connect with points of influence on social media, specifically on Twitter, people can spread your awesomeness very wide, very quickly. And she, Dr. Wright, is actually the owner of a TV show, and she's been on TV for 18 years. And notice that she has not quite 23,000 followers. So this is an example that if someone like Dr. Wright were to promote you as an awesome branding expert in the fashion industry, for example, oh my gosh, that would just went to potentially 30,000 people. So this is free, and she's bragging about you, not you. So that's an endorsement or an implied recommendation. And then once you put stuff out there, you will notice that a lot of people just start following you. And then, oh, Mark is a fashion expert. Oh, and then typically they're from the fashion industry or they're involved in the fashion industry. And so your network will grow, and you'll have more people to help you with the networking and the job searching. Now, on YouTube, remember, promote yourselves. You can also have other people promote you. So if you ever can find a boss or a former colleague to give you a video testimonial, oh my gosh, that's extraordinary. Wow. And this is really going to make you stand out because very, very few people do this. And resumes are still traditional and you must have resume, but this right here, the visual or video resume is becoming more and more dominant and more valuable. Now also, I promised to give you a reference to a low-cost tool, Animoto, A-N-I-M-O-T-O, Animoto.com is a little video creation tool. I forget how much it costs. I think it's $30 or something. It's definitely reasonable. And it lets you add photos, and it actually comes with licensed music. So you can actually create little, very professionally looking portfolios if you have any type of visual work and show that in a very professional format for just 20 or 30 bucks. It's very inexpensive. Now, in any type of online video, because it's a different format, it's slightly different. Remember to keep or include your contact information. So your phone number in the video or in the description or in the title, right? If they see this awesome video about you, but they don't know how to contact you, well, then it doesn't matter, right? What's my intent? I want to impress people and I want them to contact me after they see how impressive this video is. So email, address, or phone number is appropriate. Now, how to manage it all. I want you to focus your time, as I said before, work what works, okay? If Facebook seems to be giving you a lot of good job information and leads, rock on. If it's LinkedIn, then spend more time on LinkedIn and, just go with what works. I'm not saying you must do all of this or I'm not even going to speak to that time or what have you. Focus time and energy on what is most effective for you because you're all in different levels of your career, all in different industries, all at different experience levels, so just go with what works. But all of these are free. LinkedIn, YouTube, if you want to make a super duper high class video, like maybe you're a corporate executive, okay, maybe you might spend a little money, but the other ones definitely very cost effective, meaning free. Now here are some tools to help you manage it all. Google Alerts, and these are all free tools. Well, I beg your pardon. One of them is a $20 tool. Google Alerts is a free tool that will allow you to monitor what is going on in the world. You create a free Google Alert, and these are keywords. Maybe an industry, maybe a product name. Let's say I really want to work for XYZ Corporation, right? So everything that's going on with the XYZ Corporation, I want to know about. So you create a Google Alert, and then anything that's posted online, you'll get a notification. And then you can play with that. You can get notifications immediately, every day, every week, and you can add keywords to make it more specific. That's Google Alerts. Hootsuite is a tool that lets you manage your social media messages. You can schedule posts, and you can also consolidate all of the messages. MarketMe Suite is similar to Hootsuite, but Hootsuite is free. MarketMe Suite is $20 a month, but it's just more robust. You can add you can do some geographic analysis, which probably is really good from a job search standpoint. You can see where your Twitter friends are located. If they're a fashion expert in Zimbabwe, but you're looking for a fashion job in San Francisco, okay, it might not be the most valuable connection. And there's a little tool in the back end you can do that geographic analysis. Nutshell Mail is a way to consolidate all of the messages together. Let me show you more specifically Nutshell Mail. Nutshell Mail allows you to say, hey, let me get all of the social media marketing messages in one email every day. So in your inbox, and you can set the time, let's say, twice a day at 10 a.m. and then at 4 p.m. So what will happen is that you will get a consolidated message, and then there are metrics in there that says, I got this many messages on Facebook, this many messages on LinkedIn, and it all comes to you in a consolidated format. So don't think that I'm getting too many messages. Okay, if this is all targeted, that's never a problem, right? Too many opportunities, you just have to control the opportunities and manage them. So you can manage them quite literally in one message a day. This is Nutshell Mail, and you can create a free account at nutshellmail.com. And you can manage Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn all in that interface. And it's quick, easy to use, and free. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I hope this was good. I mean, thank you so much we had a few questions, and I think I got them all. And hey, we're getting some smiley faces and some exclamation points. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys got some good information. We went a little bit over time. I think I wanted to kind of wrap it up on this very last slide with some summaries here. First of all, this is my contact information right here. And make sure to keep in contact with me. And the key thing with all of this is you just have to do it. You really have to do it. Don't be frustrated, and it's easy for me to say don't be frustrated, right? It's kind of like don't be nervous, right? As soon as you say don't be nervous, someone gets nervous, right? It's just right? Of course you're going to be frustrated because job searching is frustrating. It takes time and energy, and it's not quick. But you know what? It shouldn't be, because I want you to be in a good environment. I want you to be in a nurturing environment, and you know, my company is called Building Aspirations. We want people to build a life that is extraordinary. We want people to take their passion and purpose and implement that into their personal and professional life. And that takes a little bit of time and effort. And if you think of career development as a foundational thing for your life, if you have a poor foundation, your house is going to fall. And it doesn't matter how great the roof is, if the foundation is poor, the roof will cave in. So you need to put a little bit of time and energy into your career development. And I want you to connect with these people, make a real connection, be a genuine person. And when you tap into these success strategies on social media, you can do it really effectively. Some quick summaries. Remember, Facebook is a conversation in a barbecue. LinkedIn is a conversation in a boardroom. Twitter is a conversation in a hallway. And YouTube is a really powerful tool if you have any type of visual product or a portfolio to share. Always be professional. Always realize that your message may be misunderstood if taken out of context. So let all these individual messages stand. And be direct and focused. If you are job searching, say that you are job searching and tell people what job you're looking for. Tell them what titles, tell them what geographic area, so they can refer you appropriately. So the key thing is just keep it up. Don't be discouraged. Although this is on social media, this is networking. And to really be effective in this job search, you need to think that I am a human being. And I am more than a resume. I am more than an application. I am more than an applicant. I am more than a click on a website. I am a human being, and there's an infinite number of things that come with that. And the only way you can get even close to sharing your awesomeness with people is by making a personal connection. So go out there, network with people, use social media to network. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for participating in the webinar. Thank you so much for the comments, and I wish you the best of luck in your job search. This is Mark Mikelat from Building Aspirations. Thanks for listening.